Watch the entire video, my lovely viewers, from start to finish, to get the whole thing. Without wasting much of your time, let's get right into it. Hi lovely viewers, it's me again, your one and only Mutati Mpundu. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time on my channel, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting the subscribe button down below. Turn the bell icon to join the notification squad. Don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this video in the comment section below. I'll be super glad to hear from you lovely viewers.
Oh, there's the call. Hello. Good evening.
Zephania from Mandevu.
Okay, sir. Kindly make your contributions.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
We have missed you and we are grateful with the Emmanuel Mwamba verification. This is a very good program. We are learning a lot. Continue educating us because Zambians, we don't want to listen when someone is giving a well-informed, like the way you have done it. I've listened from the beginning up to where you have ended.
Wow.
This is very good. I think Zambians, we need to listen that we see the corruption. Indeed, UPND, when they were campaigning, they campaigned that PF was corrupt. And the people listened that PF was corrupt. But they have not even shown, not even a single to say that these were corrupt. But look at what we are hearing today in UPND. UPND is the worst corrupt government at the moment because what you have explained, especially in the mines. When you look at the mines, we believe that our mines are the ones which are supposed to have to improve our GDP. But when you look at the UPND, they don't even care. All what they care is about their bellies and their pockets. So we need to stand up as Zambians so that we speak. As we come 2026, let's remove them. Let's change the government so that we can see the better Zambia. Without mines, we cannot survive. We are doomed. We are dead. Look at the hospitals. They are wage freeze. Everything is corrupt now in the country because we are not collecting the revenue. Mines are the only one, and we are being left with holes. These are the holes. Where are we going to take these holes? They are taking the dollars. And today, Bamwamba, imomuliko na bwino kuno kuzambia natuchula aba bantu aba.
Thank you, Apiri. I can see the other calls. Let's see how many calls we can quickly take before I close. Thank you. Thank you, Mandevu. Please keep on calling. Let's good evening. Tell us where you are calling us from and your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Your Excellency.
Good evening.
Okay, wonderful. I just wanted to find out a quick one. I am George from Katete.
Okay.
Just a quick one. We just want the mineral royalties that we were getting per year as compared to the budget that we normally have as a country. Can we say it has largely contributed to the cost of living that we are experiencing now, or it has contributed to the pressure of the government to find money through the increase of taxation and through a lot of increases in the low-cost statutory payments? Because of the lament, we have seen the government increase a lot of statutory payments as if they want to cover it up from the revenue loss.
Okay, thank you. I'll answer it. Thank you very much. Okay, I can see more calls. Let's take more calls so that we. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hello.
You are live on Emmanuel Mwamba Verified. Tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Okay. The name is Eustace.
Okay.
I'm calling from the United Kingdom.
Okay.
Yeah?
Kindly make your contributions.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to ask you, Mwamba, just two questions. Okay. I've always been wanting to ask this question to you. It's really about how, when you sort of engineered or championed the re-election of our former president, Mr. Lungu, wherever he is, I hope he's all right. Okay. Now you championed that re-election, and you're one of the media people. And in the process, I think there was speculation, a lot of speculation that you became very powerful, and you headed to sort of he didn't know where to place you, whether ministry. Prior to that, you had been permanent secretary, and then he didn't know where to place you, and sort of you, because of what you championed as a payback, he sort of moved you to South Africa so you could have access to Zambia, back to Zambia, and all the rest of it. There must have been some hitches pertaining to that posting, which eventually, because you were sort of found in the vicinity, and I think there were all sorts of things going on within PF government at the time. Then you moved further away to Ethiopia. What is your comment on that, whether there was all sorts of things? Connected to that, it could have been nice at the time, the way you're speaking right now, okay? And I'm speaking as a Zambian, living in the UK 28 years or something like that. The things that we see there is that when you guys are out of power, out of government, you seem to speak so well. I think if you're that young person, I believe, who was like a rising star in PF, who could have sort of, been speaking the way you're speaking now. But first of all, how you ended up in South Africa, nearer to there, but then shunted further away to sort of avoid your influence, which should have led you possibly to eventually, your aspiration after Lungu, the 200,000 and all the rest of it to get it to government. I thought at the time, hanging around, you might have been quite influential-ish, or best suited or best placed to be able to avoid what has eventually happened to PF, meaning factions and all the Chavingas and all this kind of confusion. I think you should have been at the center of sort of playing an advisory role to the president, to have stopped maybe dilly-dallying and all that, which has led to Sampa, Chavinga, and all the rest of the confusion. Make a comment on that.
Thank you very much.
The next point.
Okay.
The next point is, and I'm sorry to steal the show, I've been meaning to speak to you directly or indirectly. You can pick my call. We can talk on a one-to-one if you want to.
Wonderful.
The next point is, may our soul rest in peace, our fallen first female finance minister. Okay. I just up to now grapple to understand why the HH privatization with the friends to the HH friends, the Valentines and all the rest of it, how they could have sort of stolen the show and sort of steered the privatization, which has earned them so much money to get us to where we are. Okay? That is another point I'd like to comment on. But I know Nawakwi would have been better placed, and I think she's indicated something which I haven't quite grasped quite well. A minister, and you had the HH as an entity, or was a director of Grant Thornton, came in there and sort of cheated the government out of office. I have a lot more questions, but these two key points, okay? And I speak as a Zambian who's concerned that we've now, all this, especially the privatization has now sort of steered us where we are, because obviously we are not happy with the current status quo where, we've sort of propelled HH into the position where he's doing privatization part 2 on a bigger scale with all these things that you're saying. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Thank you.
Yes, I do. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Good evening. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from, and mute your device so that there's no feedback.
My brother, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Who's calling? And please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
My name is Patrick. You know me. I'm calling from the UK.
vachilufya mulishani
We know Bamwamba.
kulishani kuvulaya
Police we know.
kaka phone kali wa blank, it does not save any number because I only use it for this purpose. I don't use it for any other purpose.
Yeah,
Eh.
yeah. I just wanted to make some few comments.
Yeah,
I think
please.
you're doing a great job, because we need checks and balances, just like we were checking PF when they were in power, and you remember we really condemned them, and some of us we still challenging what the things this government is doing, and a lot of things that they are not doing well.
Yeah.
Like Mopani, we shouldn't have given control to Mopani, to those guys. And I, for one, wrote to the president.
Oh, you did
even
well.
Even before anything happened, that we shouldn't give control to Mopani.
Mhm.
Mopani only needed $300 million to recapitalize it. It's a mine which was running properly. And why we gave control of Mopani, because Mr. Mwamba, when you look at the mines, when Kaunda realized that these guys were stealing from us, because you cannot win with these guys. If you say you're gonna charge them royalties, they will cook the production figures. If you say you will do tax, they will transfer the prices of copper. They'll even do forward purchase at a lower price. So the only way to win Kaunda did was to issue a bond and buy and get 51% control. Why can't this government learn? Because investors are not there for us; they are there for themselves.
Yeah.
So why did we allow a mine which we controlled 100%? And not only that, Rothschild, we paid, the CCMHI paid Rothschild $15 million to do the bidding process.
Yeah.
And we had two companies that were shortlisted. Where did the third company come from?
Yeah.
So these are, and this case, whether they explain it, however they explain it, this matter should have been in Parliament to be scrutinized. Because if they gave it to IRH, where is the due diligence to show why they gave it to them? Because if this matter had gone to Parliament, it would have been scrutinized.
Yeah.
And then this also shows that there is no adherence to the principles of rule of law in our country. Because how come the deals were struck at State House when Rothschild had already shortlisted two companies and they were ready to start? So there's no separation of power. The executive has got so much power that they can bulldoze anybody. Because how come, where did this company come from? Nobody, everybody has failed to explain. And then when you look at our friends in Botswana, whenever they sign a new contract, everything is in the open.
Yeah.
But if you go on Google and check the new contract between Botswana and De Beers,
You find it.
they will tell you that when they mine the diamonds, 50% will go to Botswana and 50% will go to De Beers. And the dollar sales of that 50% will come into Botswana. Where is our copper sales going to 40? So if we didn't sell the mine, where is the 49% going? These are the questions Zambians need to start asking. Are we getting 49% of the dollar sales in account 99? And then Financial Times issued an article immediately after that sale.
Yeah.
They say there was no transparency and accountability in that deal.
Yes.
So, Pamwamba, they are not saying somebody is corrupt. Because if you say somebody is corrupt, they will arrest us and say proof in court that we are corrupt and they will be jailed. But the point is, why is the biggest anti-corruption organization called Transparency internationally. Because transparency is the hallmark of democracy. So exactly when there is no transparency, there is likely going to be corruption. So if there was no transparency in the Mutati deal, there is likely there was a lot of corruption because nobody has explained where is the memorandum of understanding, where are the contractual agreements, where, because if this matter had gone into parliament, the parliament was going to
scrutinize all this. Yeah.
So why did the executive jump to parliament and they sought this mine, our own mine? Look at now the problems that are there.
Yeah.
These problems are there because we have no control over this mine. Because Bamwamba, if there was a contract, that contract would have. I'm an expert in those areas.
Yes.
That contract would have stipulated how many slots we've got in management, how many slots we've got at the board, how copper is going to be sold, who is going to buy copper, all those things. And then the Minister of Mines is being questioned in Parliament. Where is the copper? How explain to us what happened? He says no, copper is sold in Dubai. When did we start selling copper?
We've not sold copper in Dubai.
And then, because Kaunda created Memako, and a lot of young people don't know
they have no idea.
Kaunda created Memako, and he also opened Sanako branch in London for the purpose of copper sales.
For export proceeds to go to the London branch.
The money moves into the Sanako account
and it moves to Lusaka.
Bank of Zambia. You know that, Mama. So the question is, if copper is sold in Dubai, which bank account is the money going into in Dubai? And when is that money? Can the government explain how much? This is 1 year now. How much copper has been sold in Dubai? How much money of the dollars have come into? All that is not explained.
Yeah.
And Zambians deserve that. Then come to KCM. KCM, our president issued a statement that they are not going to give more KCM because they have to put the interest of the Zambians first. The next thing, KCM is back.
Yeah.
And then KCM at that time, Bamwamba, I'm saying these people, some people will call us names. No, they are disgruntled. We are not disgruntled.
No, you supported the UPND. How can you be disgruntled?
Our country being destroyed just like that. Our assets being given away. Bamwamba, KCM at that time they brought them back. They were in financial troubles. Everybody knew. They were in financial troubles. They were owing Islamic Bank over $600 million.
Yeah.
At that point, no bank in Europe or in America could give them money. Why didn't they do a due diligence at that point and find out if those guys were capable of running that mine?
Yeah.
And if the due diligence was done, they would have shown them a document. Guys, you cannot run this mine in the financial position you are. So what do? We could have said we are going to increase our shareholding to 50%. When we get the money, we can issue a bond. Because the SSMHR is listed on the London Stock Exchange and on the Paris Stock Exchange.
Yeah.
Kaunda issued a bond of 8 years for $200 million.
In 1971.
He paid Anglo 100 and something million, and he paid Tyne Lawrence another 100 million. That's how we got control, and it was 8 years. So we can issue a bond. We could have issued a bond because those guys, they were even worse than that. So that we have 50-50 control, and we could have pumped in money using by issuing a bond.
Yeah.
But that does not take that does not take nuclear science.
No.
Not only that, money could have been raised within. The NAPSA would have pumped in money there.
Yeah. Yo, bane, chunguro bane.
So now, my point I'm trying to Just like the ambassador, the envoy from America,
Mm-hmm.
is now saying 3 years is so much for a country to be going round circles. It's
Yeah.
inefficient.
Yeah.
From one government to another, you know, there are waves of corruption coming in.
Yes.
So, for how long are Zambians going to suffer? Because Zambia exemplifies scarcity
In the midst of plenty.
in the midst of abundance, and poverty in the midst of plenty. So how can Zambians, because Bamwamba, just emeralds alone would make Zambia one of the richest countries.
Correct.
Bamwamba emeralds are more expensive than diamonds, than fashion diamonds.
Yeah.
But how come Botswana has got now a GDP double as than Zambia? Just diamonds alone. Bamwamba, as we are talking, there's a mine coming up in Kawompo. I don't know whether you heard about it.
Is it Kalenga mine?
It's going to be owned by a company called Autona.
Yeah.
That mine has got copper, cobalt, diamonds, gold. How much money have they brought in? They are investors. Because in Botswana, when the beers went to Botswana, they told them the diamonds belong to the Swanas. We are going into a joint venture, 50-50.
Yeah.
You bring the expertise and the capital, we give you the diamonds. But why? And I'm told they have only paid the money for the exploration license.
Yeah.
They've even issued shares in the UK.
And they will soon become billionaires living in Paris and Hong
They'll
Kong.
soon become billionaires. So so why can't we start a new mine 50-50%? The copper, the diamonds, the gold, they belong to Zambia.
But Lufia, I've always explained that it's a tragedy that we have mines in Northwestern Province, some of the largest mines in Africa and in the world, and ZCCMIH has no shares. That's a tragedy.
This, but there's something, Bamwamba. What surprises me is Mwanawasa realizes that we gave away KCM for a song. You remember? KCM, all presidents, I don't know whether that was a mistake or what, but at that time, Mopani was worth about $300 million. We gave it away for 25 million. But again, upon Mwanawasa realizing that he made a blunder, what did he do? He introduced what is known as windfall tax with Mangani. That windfall tax, Bamwamba, was going to give Zambia an extra $500 million a year. What happened? The moment Mwanawasa died,
oh yeah, the vouchers came on the scene.
Arabi and Mosokotuane, they can take me to court, but they stopped it. Do you know that Mangande has written a book called The Depth of My Footprint?
Yes.
In that book, Mangande has died questioning that decision.
Yet he was a minister of finance.
Yes, he said he wrote to them, he kept on writing to them until he died. They couldn't give him the reason. Bamwamba, if we were going to get an extra 500 million in 2008, if that just $500 million was put in a bank account, how much were we going to ask?
Oh yeah.
And Bamwamba, sometimes we've been Zambia is expecting $192 million from IMF. And you can get that money in a month from our mine. So I've realized that because we thought maybe the PF guys are just maybe they don't have a lot of educated people. Let's put guys who run businesses, who are experienced in business. Maybe they might understand. Maybe they might help us.
And what have you gotten?
So which means they know what they are doing, but they don't want to do it.
No, it's a loot. Our country is being looted.
It's being looted, squarely looted. While we are watching, and you know, and it's when I listened to the ambassador of America, I was furious.
Yeah.
Because you know, Bamwamba, 1964, Zambia was richer than China. Singapore wasn't born. Botswana wasn't born.
But Rufia, let me take this call. This man has been insistent. Let's allow him. But thank you for your contribution. Let me
just finish. So
quickly.
Going forward, Bamwamba, we can't just keep on governments. I think what we need is whoever wants to rule Zambia, I think the first agenda should be what are you going to do with our minds? We need a social contract between
our family silver.
Whoever wants to win 2026, who wants to stand and being voted for 2026, we need a social contract and tell us, because the biggest thing that can help Zambia to develop are the mines. Copper prices, Bamwamba, will keep on going. It will soon be 12,000. So what is the social contract? We need to have a social. What is that person going to do with our minds? Because we need 50% at least. And we're not saying we are going to nationalize. We can pay for it. The money is there.
Okay.
Over to you, Ramon.
I love that. Social contract. That's a challenge to all that wish to lead. What will you do with the mines? Okay. Mukalambo and Patrick Chilufya from the United Kingdom. You can see his passion for our country and his passion for the right things to be done. He really supported UPND, but you've seen how he has expressed disappointment.
Chila chungulo. Lesa tatoka tuibukisha lisa. Lesa tatupata tuadidirire ati tufumieni kuli PF. Vatupela Saulo. Na mumwenefi ale mweneka Saulo. Uyu Saulo nomba talinga ulia Saulo wa mchipingo. Uyu Saulo ni kabwalala. Uyu Saulo abule migodi he's giving to his friends. I want you to know that when Mopani was advertised, the first thing that Mopani did, ZCCM, they went out to call lawyers in Zambia to come forward and submit their bids so they could be the advisors to ZCCM. Mkwai, those bids were sent out and the cause came back. Shortlists were made. Those shortlists were supposed to go out. They went out. When it was just about selecting which Zambian law firm was to advise the CCM, Mukukulu, Aisa Imati, stop the bids. There is a new bidder called Rothschild. No, Rothschild from South Africa. So Rothschild was slotted from the back door onto the list of advisors to Zambia. But the sad thing about that is that who brought Rothschild is none other than Valentine Chitalu. You understand that? So ngatualanda tinibaka walala. Bale iba with their feet, with their teeth, with their hair. Wishani shtu alufyanya. Rosa tu alishibati Valentine Chitalu munankwe. Badia pamo. Vapepa pamo. Vanwa kofi pamo. Eva advisor waliko ukutuchita advise pakushitisha Mopani. No wonder the outcome is not the best that we could have. For example, kwa iso kushitisha Mopani ine vahaka inde vaitama bids uyo ino mnanko wa Rothschild achite evaluate and that person doesn't even go to ZCCMIH ekala ku community house ngaisa bachita advertise ama bidders badi 10 basala kwa shala 4 lila bati balanda ati this firm was one atilekeni ninkwata bidder from Dubai Male umfwa on Saturday a bid a Dubai company. Male umfwa. Kanshiba nankwe. Kusenda ayaku South Africa. Asenda company. Yaba nabo aba babomba nabo mu Anglo-American. Benda Matthew Posa, Molefi, Baisa. Ela Baisa sende ati aba naba kwata Jubilee Metals. Baba pela na mufurila. Ilia Black Mountain yaku mufurila. Baba pela gift. Ati nombelo tuami pele chichipe. Kabieni musaine contract na Dubai company called Deota. Now what has happened is this. The government of the Republic of Zambia is not getting a single ngwe. I have asked Hakainde Ichilema and his cahoot of people who are looting our minerals. Tell me how much money is going into the treasury. Pantu you contract ale itashati. Mourn Nawakwi, she's just ignorant. She doesn't understand. I pity her. I just want one question. How much money is going into the treasury? Because ala itakishati, Delta has, he said that Glencoe has been paid. Mwema Nawakwaresa. Ala shetani wabufi. Nga wakonke fichita shetani na iwe. Wala bembuka kuli walesa. Bali wula, shirienda la mesho tuwari no kupela Glencoe. Balanda tiba mopani nomba ninkongole. Kabiye ni kupakela mwalasa ngati Deota na lembesha loan kulia. It's registered as a mortgage. It's registered as a mortgage on Mopani. So what nonsense is this? Secondly, Shimbi abati yo, these people are investing 620 million. Mwana Nawakwalesa, we sold 7 million shares at a value of 620 million. Chirienda lama bane ngashalisa tuwashita no mutu kushipatala tuwabula na 200 million tuwabika Mopani ngayali yamba ababantu beshire. We have just given them an asset. This time tabarabika mwanu ngwe tufumiamo umukuba ukulingana na 70,000 metric tons. 70,000 metric tons times $9,000 nishinga. Wabula fyo muntu. Wabula umukuba wa mupera. Tata senda. Eno iwe senda nenkongole shina kwata. Wakula alipila. Chila chungulo. Lesa tatoka tuibu kishalisa. Lesa tatupata tuadiririre ati tufumieni kuli PF. Vatu pela Saulo. Na mumwenefi ale mwene ka Saulo. Uyu Saulo nomba talinga udia Saulo wa mchipingo. Uyu Saulo ni kabwalala. Uyu Saulo abule migodi he's giving to his friends. I want you to know that when Mopani was advertised, the first thing that Mopani did, ZCCM, they went out to call lawyers in Zambia to come forward and submit their bids so they could be the advisors to ZCCM. Mukwai, those bids were sent out and the cause came back. Shortlists were made. Those shortlists were supposed to go out. They went out. When it was just about selecting which Zambian law firm was to advise the CCM, Mukukulu Aisa Imati, stop the bids. There is a new bidder called Rothschild. No, Rothschild from South Africa. So Rothschild was slotted from the back door onto the list.
This is DJ Mutati exclusive.
Alright, that's all for you today, lovely viewers. If you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about the video you just watched in the comment section below. I'll be super glad to hear from you, lovely viewers. Once again, I go by the name of Mutati Mpundu. I love you, peace, I gotta go.